Hello guys, welcome to Agriclarity channel and welcome to the Agriclarity Concept Clarity Lecture series. I hope all of you are doing very well. I hope you are preparing for that one seed which is going to change your life forever. And we are here to help you take that leap towards your goal. With this, let's start with today's lecture where we're going to deal with the common cultural practices in floriculture. So let's start. First, we're going to see about pinching. So as you can see in the figure itself, this is pinching, right? So what do we do in pinching? That the terminal portion of any plant is pinched. Okay, so it is removed with the help of our fingers. So why we do that? So as to help the auxiliary growth. Okay, so pinching, if you see, it is done in rose, in chrysanthemum, in marigold, in carnation. Okay, and why do we do pinching? That is to help in the auxiliary growth. In carnation, pinching is very important. There are three types of pinching that is performed in carnation: single pinch, pinch and a half, double pinch. So single pinch is done for early crop, okay? And pinch and a half is done to extend the cropping cycle, and double pinch is done for late crop, okay, in order to obtain flowers at a later period, right? So this is about pinching. What are the keywords for pinching? How do you remember that this definition is regarding pinching? That is, if you see these three things: terminal shoot, pinch, auxiliary growth, then you'll have to understand that it is pinching. So what is pinching? It is nothing but the process of removal of the terminal shoot of a succulent, or you can say herbaceous plant, okay, terminal growth of an herbaceous plant, right, with the help of our fingers, right? All right. So next, after pinching, let's talk about disbudding. So you see, disbudding, as the name suggests, we remove the bud, right? So this can be two types, where one, where we remove the central bud or the terminal bud, and second is where we remove the auxiliary bud. So when would we remove the terminal bud? If we have to produce spray type of flowers, like in case of spray chrysanthemum, spray carnation, okay. So if we have spray chrysanthemum or spray carnation, we know that large number of flowers are produced in one head, isn't it? So as a result, what? We'll remove the terminal bud, because the terminal bud would produce a larger flower, right? So in the spray types, we remove the terminal bud, and then what will happen? The auxiliary buds will grow and all the auxiliary flowers will be of the same size, okay? In case when we remove the auxiliary buds, that is in case of standard types, like in case of rose, okay, hybrid tea rose, we would remove the auxiliary buds, okay, so that is also disbudding. So what will happen if we remove the auxiliary buds? All the energy will be diverted into the central bud, and the central flower or the central bloom will be of highest quality. Okay, so this is what you see, the purpose of disbudding: in standard types to get superior quality bloom, in spray types to get more number of blooms per head. Okay, in spray types, why do we remove the terminal bud? Number one is to divert the energy to the auxiliary buds. Second thing, that the terminal bud is usually larger in size as compared to the auxiliary ones. So therefore, if we remove the terminal bud, all the other buds will have similar size. Okay, so this is about disbudding. Next, let's talk about de-shooting. So as the name suggests, de-shooting, that means we'll remove the shoot, right? So if you see, why do we go for removal of the shoot? Okay, that is, number one is to remove the unnecessary shoots so that the energy is diverted to the main bloom. Okay, then this de-shooting is done in standard rose, in standard chrysanthemum, in standard carnation, basically to produce 1 to 3 superior bloom per plant. Like you can see in this adjacent picture, one snowball cultivar of this is a white ones are the snowball cultivar of chrysanthemum. So one bloom per plant it is taken. It produces excellent quality bloom, and this is exhibition type kind of flowers, okay, that we get from de-shooting. So we have seen three till now: pinching, disbudding, and de-shooting. Next is about staking. So this is very easy, that we give support to the plant, right? Staking is nothing, we give support to the plant, right? Like as you can see in the picture, stick is being tied to the flower stalk. Okay, so why do we go for sticking? So even though it seems that it's simple, that we are providing support to the plant, right? As simple as that. Like in what are the other purposes that it serves? Okay, first is it would prevent the stems from bending, breaking, or flopping over. All right, one. Number two is to keep the plants upright, promotes better air circulation. Number three, plants with heavy flower heads like dahlia, peonies, they require staking. Okay, and those plants which have naturally weak stems, they also may need staking to stand upright. Usually in cut flowers, if the stem or the stalk is bent, then it fetches lower price. Okay, the grades are low in such cut flowers. So therefore we go for staking so that the stalk is upright and straight. All right. Okay. Also, if this, in case of straight stalk, it helps in packaging and transporting also. All right. Next, we go for grading. So grading is done on a basis of different factors, जैसे कि quality, stem length and strength. Then we have flower size and maturity, uniformity, waste life, appearance. Okay, so usually in most of the flower crops, grades from A to D are taken. Okay, on the basis of like in case of cut flowers, on the basis of stem length. Okay, on the basis of the flower size and uniformity, grades are done. So as you can see in the picture, this is grades of rose. Okay, so you can see the flowers. If you see, the flowers are first thing, the flowers are in the tightness of the buds is one criteria, and the stem length is the major criteria. Okay, you can see in E grade the flowers are open, right? Whereas in A the flowers is a the flower has a tight bud stage. Okay, so this is one in case of grading. That example, if you see in case of grading, like rose graded on the basis of stem length, tightness of buds, and in chrysanthemum, flower color, stem straightness, stem length, right? So that's about grading. Next, we'll talk about pulsing. So in case of pulsing, this is a post-harvest treatment. Till now that we have seen pinching, disbudding, deshooting, staking, these are all what? These are your pre-harvest. Okay. Then grading is done once the harvesting is done, right? And even pulsing is a post-harvest treatment. Okay. So when you say post-harvest treatment, it is basically to increase the waste life of cut flowers. Okay. So flowers are placed in a solution containing water, sugars, and a germicide. Okay, why we go for pulsing? So as to increase the waste life, to improve the flower opening, enhanced color and size, prevent vascular infections, and keeps the flower properly hydrated. Okay, because when we cut the flower, then the xylem and phloem, it may get blocked, right? And even if we keep the flowers in a vase of water, it may not take the water. Okay, the water may not be taken. So as a result, this pulsing is done, okay, using water, sugars, and germicide. The sugar, what it will do is that it will replace the endogenous carbohydrate that is being lost in the process. Okay, so this is a germicide will help protect the stem and the flower from the attack of any pathogens, right? So the treatment of pulsing is performed under temperature of 20 to 25 degrees centigrade at a light intensity of 2000 lux. In the later part of the slide, we'll see that what are the chemicals which are used, like germicide, what is it used? Okay, so chemicals that are used for the purpose. So this is pulsing. It is basically a treatment, okay, in which we place the flowers in a solution containing water, sugars, and germicide. Why? So as to extend its waste life. All right. Also, it helps in flower opening. Then next is about bunching and sleeving. So what is bunching and sleeving? You can see from the picture, the rose flowers are kept in this box kind of thing, right? And these are being bunched. So this is how that flowers are transported. Okay, flowers are very delicate things, isn't it? So these are transported in bunches. Usually the bunches are 10, 12, or 25 number of flowers are kept in a bunch. Flower bunches are not practiced in case of anthuriums and orchids, right? Then if you see in this picture, this white color things are there, isn't it? These are nothing but sleeves. Okay, these are sleeves. So what are sleeves? The flowers are packed in bags and papers very intricately. So sleeves are some protective wrappers. They may be made of plastic or paper, and they're designed to encase the flowers or bouquets. Okay, so we transport the flowers in bunches of 10, 12, or 25. Okay, and while transporting, the bunches are or the flower bunches are packed in what? Sleeves. Okay, even bouquets are wrapped in sleeves, flower sleeves. So that is bunching and sleeving of flowers. Next, about the preservation. So in the pulsing part, I told you that we put the flowers in a solution of water, sugar, and germicide. Why? So as to extend the vase life. So what is vase life? It is the duration for which a cut flower or foliage retains its pleasing appearance in a vase, right? So the mixture of water and the additives that we use, okay, while we keep the flowers in a vase, so that is known as vase solution. So vase solution, the additives that are added in this vase solution, why do we add this? So as to extend the life of the cut flowers in a vase, right? So what are the chemicals used in vase solution? Like 8-hydroxyquinoline sulfate, that is 8-HQS, 8-HQC, chlorhexidine, thiobendazole, 6-benzyl aminopurine. Okay. Another terminology is there in the preservation of flower is conditioning. All right. So what is conditioning? That we expose the flowers. Okay. After the flowers being harvested, we keep them in a big container. Okay, loosely, so that air can circulate around the stems, and conditioning is done to hydrate the flowers. Okay, so that before transportation or before packaging, the flowers are fully hydrated, so that while transportation, they do not wilt. Okay, so this is about conditioning. So conditioning is usually done from 2 to 3 hours to maybe overnight. Okay. So then during the preservation of flowers, carbohydrate source which is used commonly is your sucrose that we have seen in pulsing also, right? We add sugars. So what sugar do we use? Sucrose. Okay. Then what are the antioxidants that are used? So these antioxidants also, they help in extending the vase life. Okay. So antioxidants that are used in holding solutions or vase solution of flowers are maurine, camphor, glutathione, right? Growth regulators like cytokinins also help to extend the vase life of flowers. Okay, so ABA is also used in sometimes in case of roses. Okay, SADH is used in chrysanthemum. Then biocide, if you see, biocide helps the flowers to protect from the attack of pathogens. Okay, during this when it is being kept in the vases. Okay, so the biocides which are used are 8-HQC, citric acid, aluminium sulfate, sodium hypochlorite. So these are some of the things that I've talked about the flower, the cultivation, the cultural practices pre and post harvest. Okay, these are some of the most important things that has probability of being asked in the exam. So do revise and see this video once again. Note down whatever important points are there. The terminologies like pulsing, conditioning. This can be probable questions in exams like IBPS A4 or NABARD grade A. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you.